the question. How come I'm so nice to you and I give everything to you and it never makes you happy? And by the way, this is a question that every guy has about his women. Nothing he does can make her happy. Can you explain that to people?
Because I think that you're crazy and you drive me more crazy. I think that you just do stuff that turn me off. That's it.
Let me ask you something. For example, I'll give you a specific example. For example, I mean, it wasn't the case today. Today you loved my food and you were very nice. We had a great time.
Yes.
However, let's say I brought my stuff. It seems to me that, for instance, I could have cooked the stuff. I could have brought the carpet for you. I could have done all this stuff. And I could have dressed nicely, which I didn't on purpose, by the way, just to see what you would say.
Okay.
But then you might not be happy. And in fact, rather than be happy, you might start criticizing or finding fault with it. And it really hurts guys when girls do that. But going back to the basic point, it seems to guys that girls are never happy with what they do and they always want more. They're always expecting something. Maybe part of that is because that's the way God made it, so that guys keep getting... What? You finish it off. What was I going to say?
Because I guess the more you please the woman, she wants more. Period. You have it all. And you know it all. So why did you ask
You look
me
so
those
great. You look so
simple
damn wise.
questions?
You look like Ummi in a way. Ummi's my mom, dear viewer. Okay, that's pretty good. So here's another one then. Another one is that women try and control guys.
Because women, they think...
No,
that
let
they-
me explain it to the
Oh,
viewer.
sorry.
What it is, dear viewer, is my wife and I have had this discussion for 8 years, basically. We met in 2004, and it's 2013, right? And we got married, actually, within 2 months as well. We might as well throw that in there as well. But, and we started dating immediately. And we actually talked about getting married on our first date. And then we got married. And my wife's from Colombia. She's a Christian. She's Catholic and she was raised Catholic, but now she calls herself quote unquote Christian. The Quran says about it that the people who say we are Christians, you'll find that they love you. That the most people who love Muslims or believers are the people who say Nahnu and Nasara. Nasara is the word for Christians. Anyhow, so myself, I'm from Pakistan. I'm a bit younger than my wife, right?
Just 2 years. What's the big deal?
Just a couple of years or whatever, man. It's not a big deal at all, because one of the things is there was a story or is a story. There's different. Very quickly, babe. I'll come back to the question, but there's different versions of history with regards to Prophet Muhammad, and he married a lady called Lady Khadija. May the blessings of Allah be upon her. She was the richest woman in all of Arabia. She had thousands of camels. Her business went from one end of like Syria all the way to India and all this kind of stuff. She was really and she spent all of her money on Islam. Prophet Muhammad and her were sitting in her empty house looking at the walls, and she was so happy saying, look, it's all gone, something like that. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family was 26 apparently when he married. And the Lady Khadija, she was, that's her phone, man. So Lady Khadija, she was 40. And that's exactly the same with me and Judith. Uh-oh, did I say that? Give or take about 10 years or something like that. So, all right, shall we just keep going then? And I'll just finish this off. Or do you want to just tell us why then women try to... So basically what it is this. If I'm going to an interview, she'll be like, okay, wear this tie, do that. Like, for instance, I had an interview with a company called Epicor, and they didn't hire me because I had an incident with the cops. Like, my fucking neighbor keeps calling the cops on me. And she was like, you shouldn't have told the cops. And she was right. I didn't get the job. But that's not the point. The point is a guy likes to make up his own mind, sweetie.
Yeah, so what's your question and what's your point?
Isn't she smart, man? That's why I married this one. I didn't let her get away. Or actually, she was the one who was chasing me. She was emailing me like 5 times a day.
Yeah, whatever.
6, 7 times.
So what's your point?
So,
Your question?
why is it so hard for girls to give guys their own space?
Because the guys can't do anything by themselves, so that irritates us when we ask you guys to do something and you seems like you are in limbo. You don't know what the hell.
Do you see how cute that was?
So-
In limbo.
So and then that's why we just go and do our own stuff. And when you guys doing anything, you doing? So that's why we step out. And then
She's talking nonsense. Let's go.
then,
She's talking
and
absolute
then
drivel.
that's
See,
why you
guys,
guys
that's
need to
why
be
you might fall
smarter
into a
too.
trap. Oh, da, 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 da.
careful.
Not listening in one ear out the other. She's talking rubbish, and that's how they weave spells on you, man. They start talking rubbish, and you're not paying attention to what she's saying, and you're paying attention to how cute she looks, and she just uses that shit against you. All right, well, we're heading out. I gotta follow the wife here. It's funny that they say that the Muslim lady follows behind the guy and all this rubbish. It's the exact fucking opposite. And dude, I'm the ultimate fucking warrior, man. Seriously. Like, of course, if you put one of these UFC guys up against me and they've been fucking training with steroids for like 10 years and been in the ring against other guys like them, the guy would fucking wipe the floor with me. But see these jungles? I ride and bike and walk throughout these places at night, man. I own this shit. And I am walking behind the lady who I fucking worship, man, metaphorically speaking. So that's a Muslim for you. Ask any Muslim lady with a hijab and answer me why nuns wear hijab, first of all. And ask her how she feels about it. A, if she was forced. B, how it makes her feel. It's basically like a shy girl staying at home but being outside while she's at home. That's the shit there. And the last thing is this. Ask a Western lady who's dated a Muslim. Unless he was some fucking fuckhead and the worst of the worst, you know, that rare exception like these Taliban bastards, what that lady will invariably tell you, like my girlfriends have told me in different ways, they've told me, I'll give my life for you, or I've never felt anything like this, or I don't want to lose this. Different girls, man. Becky Shaw in Canada, my Canadian girlfriend, she basically said, I tell my parents now, she's from Saskatchewan, her dad was a football coach. And I think I met him briefly, man. She was gorgeous, man. She had like the most gorgeous eyes. When I saw her eyes, I just fell instantly in love with her. She was at, this place I work called Good Life Brands. It sounds like a gay name, but it was a division of Premium Foods, which was a pretty big company. And the guy who ran the place, I guess his name was Guy. I forget his name. Guy Peckham, I believe. He was a really, really sharp dude. A really nice dude as well. I remember I was walking back to the bus stop, and he forced me to get into his car to drop me off at the station. But anyway, she was lovely, and she said the same thing to me. She said, I tell my family that I will never accept, love less than what Husain has shown me. And, I'm hoping my wife would say the same thing. If someone asked her, how's your husband? I hope she would say, far from being a dickhead and a manipulator and all this rubbish, I tell my wife, anything you want, just tell me. And anything you want to do, go right ahead, man. But the last thing that you're going to ever do, and we're in a relationship, is sleep with another guy or be interested in him. If that happens, then you go right ahead. But we're over at that point. And I'll be honest with you, folks. Here's what it says in Islam, viewer. It says basically that if you divorce like 3 times, you can't get back together afterwards. And if you divorce and separate or something like that, then let's say if she sleeps with another guy, then we have to wait at least 40 days. That's what it says. 40 days, the reason is so that the period is over and you don't have to worry about whose baby it is and all this kind of rubbish if a baby is conceived. I think that's the big reason there, but whatever. And so that's one reason you can't do a temporary marriage with prostitutes. There's all kinds of things. Besides which, you can't do a temporary marriage unless you think the woman is a believer and she's chaste and virtuous and all this kind of stuff. Anyhow, we're reaching the end of our time here on Earth. And, the rest of it's just water under the bridge, folks. Over and out.